Hello, 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 my CNC brothers and sisters. It's another Wednesday and the weather is getting warm, but out here in Indiana, we've got a tornado watch. So I got to keep my ear open. I may have to cut short and let Mark take over and run into the basement and hide. All right, so we're going to talk CNC again tonight. It's going to be an open forum, and whatever questions you have, just put a question mark in front of it, and Julianne will get it started. I'm going to say hello to a few. I'm going to bring the team up. We're going to bring Mark up. We got Mark Lindsay with us again tonight. Hey, Mark. What's going on?
Aloha.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Julianne up. Liberty is not on board tonight, but I did see her in the chat. Yep. So she's hanging around. So you know the drill. Julianne's the boss. She's in the back. She's running the show in the background, making starring your questions. And at some point, if Liberty comes on board, either way, they are going to do a random giveaway today. I have no idea what it is. Those are always fun. It could be it could be in the next 5 minutes. It could be in an hour and a half.
Yeah, we don't know. It's just random.
All right. And Kimberly is on board. So Kimberly, I just want to let you know we got Starlink now, and my stuff is actually working. So thank you for the donations that get me hooked up to Starlink. Hang around. We got a giveaway. I have no clue what it is, and that's just the way it is. I was doing some cleanup in the shop here yesterday and the day before, finding some nice tools and going, I've got 3 of these things. I don't need them all, and some people would want them for CNC machines. Like I've got like 3 of the Makita routers.
Oh my gosh!
That are sitting
time to do inventory.
We're switching over to spindles. Okay, well, all right. So, is there anything else I forgot to say, Julianne?
Not at the moment. Everybody knows the rules, and I don't know. Let's get the show rolling.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. And next week we've got Kevin from Shipoko coming on board.
Nice.
Yep.
So that'll be cool for the Shipoko owners who can ask questions. And we're working on stone from Onefinity. Got Carveco. We're working on one with Carveco to get the Carveco users on board. So yeah. Good. Having lots of fun getting more and more guests on board. All right, Julianne, we'll see you in the background. And let's say hello to some of the people we know there. Mark, Rich, and Kimberly, and Robert, and Ellen, Misty Woods. Do you know Misty Woods?
Yeah, his name is Dion. He's good people as well.
Yeah, okay, It says it right there. Yeah, why did I totally miss that? He's been on this channel for live for like 2 years now. So
he's one of my channel members too. One of the few, the proud, the channel members.
All right, Crafty Jan, Ray, and Brooks. Let's see, who else? Lonnie and Jetty, Randy. I really enjoy having folks on here like this. Got Andy. All right. Well, I mean, let's just talk CNC. Let's see what's going on over here at IDC. We expect our T-Tracks to be online in about a week.
Nice.
Available. We are adding some more things to the IDC Woodcraft store all the time, and we are still working on that one bit that you don't even know you need. And a lot of work going into that thing, getting up the logo and stuff. But
I have a question about your T-Track.
Yeah.
What size bolt, or is it going to be a bolt head? Is it going to be?
What an awesome question. So, excuse me. The thing I found with T-Tracks, when I get them and I order a clamp, I'm going, this bolt doesn't fit. All right. So either the ones for the 1/4-inch bolts don't work well they don't fit the 5/16 bolts, and the ones for the 5/16 bolts have too wide of a channel to accommodate the 1/4-inch. So I redesigned them so it'll work for both. And I designed it so you can put a hex head bolt inside of it for 5/16. Yep. So
that's what I was wondering about, because mine is set up for the a 1/4 20 bolt will slide, the head will slide in, but I also use this type of bolt with it's almost like a toilet flange bolt.
Yeah, the T-bolt.
Yeah, and these work very well as well, but I didn't know what size yours was because I love to use T-Track for jigs.
Right. Whereas I got it right here.
And for a lot more than just on the CNC.
Yeah. So it's 2 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot pieces.
Ah, perfect.
And so on the website, it'll also tell you how many you need to order depending on the width of your table, how to calculate that based on a 5 to 6 inch spread.
Mm-hmm.
I found I got a 8-inch spread on my alt mill here, and it's too far apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I moved up to 7-inch, and those 3 pieces there, that's some Sapele I'm going to be working pretty soon. That's not my T-Track. I'm on a 7-inch on center between MDF strips with my T-Track.
Okay. And on the home front here, my chicken Violet has come up missing. I assume that she wandered off in the woods and got captured by something. But I have 8 chicks, and we are I'm going to fence in the yard with a little bit better than the way it's fenced. They're free range chickens, but so I got 8 chickens. I told the team, you each get to name 1 chicken.
See, you've got McNuggets, you've got noodle soup, no, never mind.
That's what I tend to say, but people like names like Violet and Petunia and
yeah. I say that as a guy whose grandparents had 2 pigs, pork and beans. So
yeah. Okay, well, no chance of 8-footers. 8-footer T-Tracks. I've actually haven't seen a machine 8-footer with tracks. Have you?
I have seen. I've seen 6 foot, and even then, shipping on them is horrendous.
Yeah.
Personally, if I was going to do something 8 foot, I'd get 2 4-foots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually the way to go. I got to mute for a second.
Yeah, the weather kicks up pollens of all kinds of stuff, and I do that as well.
Yeah, it just started kicking up about 5 minutes before the show.
Oh, that's good enough to get your nose real athletic.
Okay, Ed said, do I prefer the alt mill or the Phantom? So it's kind of, here's the difference, right? So the alt mill is, there are 4 levels of CNC routers. So there's your hobby, your desktop, your what we call hobby, that's like the long mill. There's your pro, and then there's your industrial. So your industrials are the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 machines. The pro levels are like the Phantom. They're welded frames. They're heavy. They're bulky. They're built to withstand a lot of vibration to absorb it into the framework. They can handle earthquakes. All right. Yeah. The alt mill is at the top end of hobby, just like the Winfinity and the Shipoko. These are like top end hobby where you can, but they're good for home shops, businesses, because they're not pricey. So I had the Phantom, and I got rid of the Phantom because the Phantom is a production machine. All right, it's meant for production. You don't have an interface that you're looking at. You have a pendant. You plug that in, and you're just running the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you don't have an interface like you have with the G-Sender or some other things where you can actually see. That was actually one of the things I didn't really like about the Phantom, that I had a pendant. I like the alt mill because the price is good. It's not a heavy machine, but it's strong enough to do what it needs to do, and it can run aggressively. You can run more aggressive with something like the Phantom, but if you're just getting into it, aggression isn't your interest. Learning how to do it would be your interest.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Mark?
I would agree with that. Something like the Phantom is good for production runs. If you're trying to get out 1,000 shapes in a week, like you're cutting out chickens. If you're cutting out the shapes of chickens out of plywood and you need to get out 1,000 a week, that's the kind of a CNC router that you need. I've got the Avid, which is in the prosumer level. It is professional, but it's also not completely out of reach for a homeowner with a garage that if you have the real estate for it. But I kind of relate it to buying a truck. You want a truck to go to the lumber yard, an occasional trip to the landfill or what have you. To me, it doesn't make sense to start pricing 10-yard dump trucks on the outside chance you might want to gravel somebody's driveway. You know, you can think of it as you can think of the Phantom as like a 5-yard dump truck. And this is like a F350, F250, you know? So.
Yeah. Phantoms, they keep the prices very reasonable.
They do.
Phantom. I'm very surprised with the pricing, and they keep innovating equipment. They've just come out with a nice big CO2 laser, which is looking really cool. Folks, remember, we're going to be doing a giveaway at some random time when Julianne and Liberty decide to do it. Liberty's not on board tonight, but I think she's still out in the audience there. All right, Mark, let's start knocking out some questions.
I'm ready.
Yep. And just on that T-Track, yes, I agree with Mark. The shipping is a nightmare when you get into we are stretching it with the 4-foot pieces.
Yeah.
The ladies were resisting that because they said there's going to be shipping challenges with 4-foot pieces.
Yeah.
But we'll do it. All right. Don, best way to hold down a 4-foot by 4-foot sheet.
Well, my first question would be sheet of what? Because each material has its own criteria. Is the design open enough and free enough to where you can screw down the corners? That would be my number one. If you can't do that, can you position clamps? If you can't do that, do you have a vacuum table, or can you get your hands on a vacuum table? If you can't do that, I mean, so it'll multiply itself. This is not something that big is not something that I would trust to double-sided tape or the painter's tape and CA glue method. Personally, if I can do it at all, I will make sure to put in the design locations for screws, so I can just screw it down to the spoil board and be done with it. Yeah.
Yes. As you're talking, I'm thinking, a vacuum table. But if you don't have a 4-foot by 4-foot vacuum table, so the alt mill is actually a 49-inch. Actually, it's got like a 52-inch opening to it, so I can actually have the tracks outside that 48 by 48. But you're leaving a lot of space in the middle without something to hold it down. So you have to take into account the type of bit that you're using, and the flexibility of the wood. If you're really cheap plywood, it's going to sit there and do one of these things. So might put some double-sided tape down. The other thing that I thought of, Mark, is if you've got the flexibility in your nesting of your parts, and where your router bit's not going to go, screw it down in various different areas.
And that's exactly what I mean about planning for screw mounting. If you have that flexibility, for instance, if you are cutting out a large gear you're going to make a big wall clock that is shaped like a gear, those areas that you're going to cut out where to make spokes, you're going to cut out those areas, put a few tabs in there, and drive some screws in those areas. Put circles, and they don't have to be big, just a 1/8 inch circle that you can come along and hit with a V-bit, and just go in, say, if you can do 1/8 of an inch deep with a V-bit, that's enough for you to get a visual on where you can put some screws in the middle of that. And then again, use tabs to hold those in there. Yeah, you have to clean up some tabs, but you can drive screws right in there and you know your bit's not going to hit it.
Yep. I've screwed. That's the most secure way you can hold a project
Mhm.
on the machine is with screws.
I
Don't be
agree.
afraid to drive screws in your spoil board. That's what it's there for, to hold parts
That's
down. And yeah,
absolutely, that's exactly what it's there for. And then when it's time to resurface your spoil board, drill it out with a 1/4 inch end mill, glue a piece of dowel in it, then surface your entire spoil board. No more holes.
right. Okay, I got a question from Richard. Hog versus beast. What bit to use for drilling? I think I got the beast right over here. I haven't moved all my stuff down to the shop yet to get myself set up to show bits, whatnot. So we're going to have a little drilling discussion anyway, because this comes up quite a bit. So
Yes, it does.
both Mark and I will have some stuff to say about that. So both the hog and the beast are designed as side cutters. All right, but they do have your end mill cutting ability. Also, I was getting a few more breaks out of the bits than I wanted, and so I had them redesigned with the flutes. Basically, the flutes are tapered like this, so it gave it the strength on top, but it also left a lot of clearance in the flute area for chips to eject out of. So if you want to drill with an end mill, both of these will work for your drilling. But when it comes to drilling with end mills, there's two. You don't ever drill with a downcut end mill. Never do it. You are asking to burn your machine up. And don't do it with a compression bit either. If you use an end mill, you need to peck drill, because there's not a lot of flute space for the chips to clear out, as opposed to a drill. So the beast actually, and the beast and the hog actually have a little bit more flute space to be able to do that. But at the end of the day, the best thing to drill with is a drill bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And Garrett is one of the few suppliers I have seen that has a 1/8 inch drill bit for CNC that is beautiful for cribbage boards. So you folks that make cribbage boards, I'm here to tell you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to bring them up real quick. So I had these drill bits designed specifically for CNC routers or solid carbide. And let's see, share screen. There it is. And I drilled them with a double bevel. So if you look at a standard jobber drill, that's the kind of drill bits that you get from just the standard wood bits that you have. Then if you look at the points of them, you'll see that there's a flat on them. And those bits, that flat will allow it to do what we call walking. And it will actually start to walk sideways and it'll drill a hole sideways. So these are the IDC Woodcraft lightning drill bits, where they're designed to get the spirals a little bit faster, and it's got a double bevel and comes straight down to a point. And the chip out on the sides is super, super thin. That's the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 inch, and those are the only two sizes I have.
Yeah.
I've thought about 3/16, but I have to do a 3/16 shank as well.
Oh, you do have to do that. Okay. I was wondering about that as well, if you had other sizes in 1/4 inch shank or 1/2 inch shank, but okay.
No,
Knowing that now, cool.
Yep. So, yep, but I made them especially for the cribbage board people, because peck drilling takes a long time when you're doing 120 holes and you're doing 3 tracks with 120 holes. That peck drilling takes a long time. These are designed, you can drill almost up to 1 inch with a straight plunge.
Yeah. You don't have to peck drill?
No.
You can just do a straight plunge with them?
Straight plunge.
Sweet.
1 second a pop. Run them at the 1/8 inch. I think you can run it at 17,000 RPM, and the feed rate, the plunge rate, 60 inches per minute. So it's 1 second per hole. The Yeah, the 1/4 inch, you got to run it at like 13,000 and the feed rate's 50 inches per minute. So you're still about 1 second per hole.
Yeah.
Julianne, throw a link in there if she hasn't already done it. She's going like this. Of course she did it. It'll be in the link will be in when we talk about stuff. Julianne will be throwing links in the comments, and they'll also be in the description of the video from now on. So, and because I asked Julianne to do something, I got to take a drink.
Of course.
All right, let's talk. Richard said when to use each. Okay. Yes, we're talking about the drills and the hogs and the and all that stuff. The beast is if you're doing most of your roughing at less than 1 inch final depth, then go with the beast. Always go with the beast because it's shorter, it's stouter, it can handle a heavier workload. If you're starting to go deeper than that, the hog can go up to 1.5 inches deep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, see, I have a beast. I don't have the hog, so I didn't really understand what the difference was. But
yeah, you have the old. Go ahead.
Pardon?
I said you have the old style too, so you don't have the coated one or with the the modified flutes.
Yeah, I don't think it is coated. Nope, it's standard carbide. Still, I mean, it's a monster. Don't expect finesse with this, okay?
Yeah.
If you want a finished edge, this is not the bit for you. This bit is there to do one thing and one thing only. It's going to kick out as much material as it can in one pass. It still has its limits, but you are not going to get a smooth finish ready edge finish with this bit. This is just going to.
Yeah. Okay, Brooks is wondering, Garrett, can you talk a little bit about setting offsets in G-Sender? We have a conversation on Mark's YouTube about it. Okay, and Mark was mentioning something about that just before the show. So about setting work offsets. Okay, let's bring G-Sender up. I was glad Mark told me that because
hint, good video idea.
I have to bring my laptop down here right now until I get final stuff set up here. And I had to connect it to the machine. So we've got G-Sender right there. And let's bring that up. Let me know when you can see G-Sender.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So I'm going to connect it. It's just connected to my alt mill. And the work offsets are set up right in the upper right corner. So right now it says G54. When you click the little drop down, it'll 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. And so if you want to set a work offset, you move your machine to whatever position it is, and you switch to that work offset with this drop down. So say I'm going to, right now, if you look at my my position, I'm at -11 on the X and +39 on the Y. And so now I'm switched to G55, and I can now set my Y and my X and my Y to 0. And now that's all taken care of, and I can kind of forget it at this point. And now if I have whatever project I set up there, I'm setting that up as if that is going to be the same location for that particular project. Let's just say I'm going to cut out whiskey smokers and they station in that particular area. Then I go to something else, and then I'm going to do 10 more whiskey smokers. What I'll do is I will put a G55 in the G code command. And when I do that, then when that program calls up and it looks at G55, it's going to switch this work offset from G54 to G55. It'll start running from that new 0 position. But that's where we set it up at, right up there in that corner there. Did I say enough on that, Mark?
I have a question. Somebody told me, I don't have G-Sender, so I can't experiment myself. Somebody told me that after you run a project, say you run your first whiskey smoker, and it's done and it comes back to the home position, it automatically by default jumps back to G54.
It does automatically default back to G54.
Okay, is that why you put the G55 in the G code?
Yes.
Perfect.
And so as a machinist, when I was as a journeyman, we had lots of work offsets on machines. So we'd have multiple different types of parts that we would run on machines. We'd have an indexer head, we'd have a fixture plate for one type of part, and another fixture plate for a different type of part. And we'd run 3 different types of parts on the indexer head. So we would use all these different work offsets. So a work offset will be dedicated to one part that's in that indexer head, or one style of part. And then the program, the G code, would always be designated with a G55, and that would always be set in the program. So that's the philosophy I operate under. Yeah.
So basically put then that issue that people are having with it going back to G54, the minute it's finished running that G code, that can be eliminated by just putting a G55 in the header of the G code.
Yeah, that's standard. You actually do not want it to. It's standard for them to go back to G54.
Yes, that's the default. Well, but see, I'm used to using Mach 3 and Mach 4. With Mach 4, I can go into the work offset, put it in G55, and it stays there until I change it.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I can run 3 or 4 different projects using that same work offset and just swap out the G code and just keep going.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I have to manually take it back to G54 in order to change it. So,
okay. Yeah. Technically, ideally, the best way to do it is actually have that work offset in the G code at the top of the G code. But yes, G sender does default back to G54.
Okay.
So I'll have to double check, because the post processor, the GRBL post, it puts in an M2, I think, at the end of the program, which is program end.
Let me look for some G code.
M30 is program reset. So I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look at that. But yes, as it stands right now, it goes back to G54 by default.
Okay. Just wondered.
No, it's a good question. Okay. Hope I answered questions on that one. I wonder if there's any other G sender. Jack in the shop says he always uses the hog. The hog is fantastic. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. And Fojum said, let's get some likes and subscribes going on. Okay, next question.
There you go.
Yeah, I should go onto YouTube and like my own video.
Yes, you should.
There you go. All right, Crafty Jans. Hey, Brooks, I'm hunting for at least 1.5 inch cut, 1/8 ball nose with a 1/4 inch shaft now. 1.5 inch cut length on a 1/8 with a. So I'm getting a lot of specialty requests for bits. The extra long.
Yeah. I bet.
I am working on that right now. We are in production on the new bit that I keep saying, that bit that you never know you needed. So that's our heavy focus right now. But this is another one of those oddball ones to say, what do I do with this one?
Yeah, because that's a very limited use. I'm trying to think of when I would use a 1.5 inch cut with an 1/8 inch ball nose. And obviously it would have to be an inside cut or a 3D model. But even then, if you've got a model 1.5 inches down, wow. I mean, that's kind of a special case.
Yeah. Ray Dixon is asking me for longer 1/8 ball nose, 1/8 shank. I'm getting ready to work on that. I'm more than happy to do that. But This getting up to a 1/4 inch, I don't know. They're so special. It costs a lot of money to get bits put in production. And if I ask someone to make 5 bits, it's going to cost me more than I can sell it for.
Yeah, and it's going to cost the end user quite a bit too, because you know, I mean, you can talk to a tool maker and see if they'll make you one, but it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And you got to look at ROI on stuff like that, and that's getting into business that we don't want to get into. So
yeah. Sometime tonight, folks, Julianne and Liberty are coming on board, or at least Julianne. Oh, the Liberty's here. There she is. She's down the second row now because she got in late. Yay, Liberty's here. She was up here running the machine today. All right, we got two tower art. In VECTRIC, I don't see where the IDC round over bits are added. Oh, how do you add the round over bit? So in the IDC Woodcraft database, they are listed under form tools. Guess I should bring that up to show you exactly what we're looking at.
That's where I put my round over bits as well, is in the form tools.
Yeah. I'll show you real quick. So IDC Woodcraft, we give you the database for all the router bits that we have, and that will be linked. It's also, I think it's linked down below. You can get it off the IDC Woodcraft website, and you get a video with the download to tell you exactly how to do it. So share screen, and we have to go to VECTRIC. VECTRIC's not showing here, even though it's up and launched. Let's go to entire screen then.
That's what I do by default. I just go to entire screen. That way I don't have any problems.
Okay. Right. I'm doing a video on oops, why didn't that come up? There we go. I'm doing a VECTRIC 101 video and walking them through the software as if they're looking at it for the first time. Yeah. And the whole video is, by the time you're done, you will have this designed right here.
Oh, perfect.
And folks, you wouldn't believe how easy this design is once you understand the software. And have the basic tools that are used. Okay, we're going to go into the database. And, oh, by the way, I did a video that shows you how to create your own little mini database. That's out now. And a lot of people appreciate that. So because there's a lot of router bits in the IDC Woodcraft database. Form tools, there it is right there. It literally says form tools, and then it says 1/8 radius form and 1/4 radius form.
Yep.
That's where you'll find it at. And Carrie, Garrett, you guys going to ask Mark some questions too. Boy, are you going to do a video on the grid pattern you designed for the alt mill? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. What I've been waiting for, I got to tear down the long mill, and because I'm going to put tracks on that, and then I'm going to show you how to create a grid so that you can always place a project in a known location. If you set up your grids right, you can go from machine home or a bumper home, and you'll always know the exact location of that grid point. So if you lose your XY, you can go back to the machine home and just go to that distance again.
Perfect time to show that G55 and 56, put them at different grid locations.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect time to do that. That way, if you mount if you do a lot of a specific size sign, like say house numbers, you could put it at X6, Y6 and set up a G56 for that. So that every time you go to do another house number sign, you can mount your piece at X6, Y6, put it into G56, and boom, there's your XY0.
Yep, absolutely. And you can even engrave that G56 right on the spoil board.
I just used a Sharpie, but yeah, engraving it would do
too. Engrave, yeah. I like to bit this stuff in. But yeah, I will do a video on that. Right now, what I'm doing is I've got a whole list of videos that I'm hammering out pretty quickly. This VECTRIC 101 is going to be a 1.5 hour video because
Welcome to
but
my
yeah.
world.
Am I anticipating a price hike on my products due to the tariffs? No, not at this point. If tariffs go up to like 25, 30%, not really, because most of my stuff's made locally. Right, so yeah, I shouldn't see anything. It's a good question, though. Okay, John. It's funny. I guess that's why I don't even pay attention to tariffs because there's so little foreign product. I do get the T-Tracks from overseas. It's much less expensive to have them made there, and the quality is just as good as what I can find here. Okay, John. Let's see. I'm new to the channel, but not new to the channel and new to CNC. I was stuck until I found some videos of yours, Garrett. Thank you. Make sure you go to Mark's videos as well. Mark has got a buttload of videos for beginners, and
Literally.
I guess we got somebody new here. Julianne, are you ready to do a little hello dance to somebody new? So to John,
Liberty's got to get in on this too.
Yeah. There you go. There's for a newbie on board. All right. And by the way, folks, for those you don't know, this is Liberty. She handles all the fulfillment at IDC Woodcraft, and you will see her more on the social media front as well, and at the different shows. Julianne is the administrative boss at IDC Woodcraft, and then we got these are the two people that you guys know out of how many work directly for us?
I know of 5.
7?
7?
Technically? Yeah, not including Garrett, 7.
30 seconds in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Give me my coat. That was cold way over here.
All right. Okay. Anyway, there's the happy dance for the new kid on the block.
I have something to say, Garrett.
You did what?
I have something to say.
Okay, fire away.
I'm sorry about your spoil board.
Hey, you know what? That's what spoil boards are for.
Yes.
It's so bad.
That's what they're for.
Can I bring my alternate camera in, Liberty, on that one? Because this is stuff that people do. This just happens.
It's real life.
It is real life. So let's bring the camera up.
The T-Tracks. That's the important part.
Yeah. So you see my new design of my spoil board right there.
That all?
Let's make it big. There you
That's
go.
it.
There you go, everybody.
How deep is that?
A millimeter away from hitting the T-Tracks.
Yeah, that's about a 1/4 inch deep.
No, what'll fix that, don't you? Bondo.
You think that's bad? Let me show you my long mill. This is so Liberty. This will make you feel better.
I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what happened.
Just another day in paradise.
Yeah.
So that's what spoil boards are all about.
That's right.
Oops. Okay. Now I got to set this thing back up. No biggie. I just came out and said, she made a cool shape.
And I got to hear I did a thing. Look at this. And I'm like, oh, you did do a thing.
Yeah.
If you don't go back in Liberty and
hopefully you talked about that in the video and said, oops.
If you don't go in and V-carve your name in the middle of that, you're just wasting time.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. See, somebody else said it too.
What did they say?
I got to put my initials on it.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Maybe you should. Maybe I should come in one day and I'll say V-carve Liberty is king, queen.
What I do with things like that is I go down to the car parts store and I get the cheapest body filler I can find, Bondo or whatever brand, mix it up, put it in there, then surface the spoil board. You know, it's a badge of honor.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's continue on. Let's bump the ladies to the background until they decide to take over. I do want to answer this question.
Okay.
John said suggestion, rather than making a video an hour and a half long, why not split it into 3? So I've done that with the marble maze video. However, for those who just jump on board, if I can give them all that, here's how I've decided to do that and why I've done it. Because as I started creating content, people kept asking me, I said, well, can you do this and this? Can you do this and this in the video? Can you do this and this and this and this in the video? And basically they were saying, can you run through an entire project? And so that's the way I do it. The marble maze is broken into 3, but this one, no, I'm going to keep it as 1 video. It gives people opportunity to sit down, and that you can always come back to it. So, but thank you for the thought, and I've thought about it. I do like running a single video like this one.
Another thing that I have learned after, well, been doing YouTube since 2010, is that people don't like series. They may
Right.
not watch a 90-minute video all at once, but if you put your chapter points in there in 30-minute increments, they will come back. But they don't like to watch a series. So I was doing a lot of, I would design in this video, and then I would cut the project in the next video. Folks don't like that. And very rarely do they come back to watch part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and with this video, I don't want to take away the flow of them
Yes.
learning about it. Because if I stop at a certain point and I just got finished about talking about the layout,
mhm.
and that's it, now they got to go find another video.
Yeah.
So,
And YouTube isn't always going to recommend the next video of the series in the suggested. And
oftentimes when I'm watching YouTube, part 2 will come up before part 1.
yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for. They also, folks don't realize what playlists are, and that there are even playlists out there.
Mm-hmm.
Every video on my channel and every live stream on my channel is in a playlist that I've created, and you can go back and you can look for those playlists, but those playlists don't get a lot of hits. Folks just look at videos one-on-one.
Speaking of playlists, so for the newbies, the new people on board, I've got a list of all the videos on the IDC Woodcraft channel.
Good luck.
We have to update it, but it's broken up, and it's a PDF you can download, and it's all you do is find the section and click the link, and it'll take you to the video. And I've separated by the designing, by the CNC router reviews, by router bits, design software, stuff like that. So that link will be, that download link, direct download will be available to you. So yeah, if it's even, there's a comment in there. If Julian does it and you don't even need to say it, is that worth a drink? And I would say, yeah, it's worth a drink.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, why not? Okay, from our friend Patrick, I have cut what I thought was a 0.08 circular channel for an inlay. It only makes a 0.074. Let's see, mine a bit and compensated for its undersized diameter. Anything in the software you can tweak. I'll leave this one for you, Mark.
You can add a machining allowance. Now, I don't know what toolpath you used. Was this VCarve toolpath? Was it a pocket, profile, what have you? I'm not sure. Let me look at something real fast in my software.
So it's circular channel. So it's yeah, it's just.
Yeah, but I don't know what toolpath he used to
okay.
cut that.
Yeah, if it's a okay, I see what you're saying.
If it's a VCarve toolpath, there is no machining allowance that you can set. I wanted to make sure of that before I said so. If you're using a pocket toolpath, there's a pocket allowance that you can use that will make it cut a little larger. So in your case, you'd want it to cut 6/1000 larger. And if you're using a profile, I believe it's the same. Yes, you can use an allowance offset on a profile, but it's going to depend on which toolpath you're using. But the short answer is yes, maybe. You can add an allowance to that to where it will overcut slightly to get you that 80/1000 channel.
Okay. And Joey Sawdust. For 3D carves, do you just let experienced project determine if you use a 1/32 ball mill for the finish versus a 16th straight? Or deep carve on deep carves, the angle on the 1/32 gets in the way.
It's been my experience.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's been my experience that the project is always going to determine what tool I'm going to use.
No.
For instance, if I have something that's going to be held in hand, like the lid of a jewelry box, for example, or the back of a hand mirror, I'm going to pick something that I would probably use that 1/32 inch ball nose, or even tapered ball nose. But if we're looking at something that's going to be mounted on the wall, 5 feet up on the wall, and be seen from a sofa's length away, I probably don't need that small of a bit. You'd be amazed at the amount of detail you can get with a 1/8 inch ball nose.
Yeah.
And you really don't need to go any smaller than that. So the project is that's gonna make that call. On deep carves, the angle of the, and I guess you're talking about, in this case, the taper of the taper
Yeah.
ball nose.
No, he's talking about the angle. I'm thinking. Oh, 1/32 ball. Okay, never mind. You're right.
If the angle of the tapered ball nose is getting in the way, you might want to take a look at seeing. Believe it or not, you can get some super teeny tiny bits and just go with a straight bit. I think the smallest ball nose I have is 3/64. The problem with that is it only cuts a 1/4 of an inch deep.
Mhm.
And I mean, it is a teeny tiny ball nose, and it'll probably take me forever to find it. Nope, there it is right there. It runs a 1/8 inch shank, and you can barely see that bit. That's 3/64. Do not use a touch plate to set your Z with this. You will shatter it. The minute it hits that touch plate, it's gone.
Right now, you got to be really careful. Unfortunately, with the 3D carves, I mean, there's just a little bit of you're kind of limited when you're dealing with a taper ball nose. You have to deal with the angle on it. Like Mark said, though, you can use a straight 1/8 and get away with that. But he's using 1/32. That's far cry from
That's a
1/8.
tiny bit.
Yeah.
That is a tiny bit.
Daniel, when entering in a bit into the database, do I have to enter it multiple times for different material?
Kinda. Is it okay to share my screen?
Go for it.
Okay, let me bring it up here, and we'll get into VCarve. All right, I'm going to toolpaths, go into my tool database. I've got a nicely populated database here under hardwood, but let's go to acrylic and see what I'm missing. Okay, I'm missing all kinds of stuff. You can tell because it's grayed out. There's nothing there. But I have, let's see, in my hardwood, I have an 1/8 inch 2 flute end mill. I'm going to jump into acrylic. I don't have an 1/8 inch 2-flute end mill. So it's in my tool database. It's just not in the database for this material. So all I'll do is I'll click on that. And it's already got most of the information here. But you get down here, it says copy the settings from this tool for this machine from the hardwood material category. And I'll click copy, and it copies everything from that material into this material. Now I can go in and I can make changes if I need to speed it up or slow it down, be it the feed rate or the plunge rate, whichever. And I can change my pass depth and hit apply, and all those changes will only affect this bit in this material. So no, you don't have to keep entering it for different materials. You just copy straight over. So now I have this selected. I click apply, and you can see now the icon is no longer grayed out. Now I have this tool for this material, the same as I do for hardwood. So I hope that answers that.
All right, cool. There's a question here that Julianne and Liberty will have to ask, something we talked about. So Richard's wondering, do we sell extra bit covers or bit holders? These things. Yep.
I would love to
And
get
so-
a hold of some of these.
So I'm going to bring Julianne's not at her computer. Liberty, I'm going to bring you up because I know you guys have been talking about it. What's the status on that? Because
We're essentially still in the process of trying to reliably get a hold of extras of our containers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's in slow progress.
Well, when you get them, let me know because I'll buy a 10-pack from you.
Will do.
Because I get bits in containers like this, and I would really rather have a container like this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, give me a 10-pack. I'll be a happy camper.
All right,
Sold.
cool. All right.
Boom.
All right, thanks, Lib. All right, well, we got 20 questions in the queue, another 10 minutes. Then we'll have to stop the questions. We're going to have to start buzzing through these. William is,
We're actually going to take over.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Okay,
we're actually
William,
gonna take over.
we'll get back to you. It is, I guess it's giveaway
Julianne,
time.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just making my lights
Yep.
keep flickering on and off, so I'm like, okay.
I know. I was like, while we still have her, we're doing it.
Yeah, every week, folks, we do a giveaway randomly, whatever the ladies decide, and then they take the floor. So Mark and I are stepping aside.
All righty, let me get our page up and going so everybody can
Gets that
see.
up and going. I'll explain how it goes. We have a special keyword with the hashtag or pound in front of it. And quiet that, please. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Hashtag or pound in front of it, whatever you want to call it. You don't need to enter twice. You're only entered once. And the code is Thunder.
I have the AC/DC song going through my head.
You and me both.
Yep. All right. I saw one question that snuck in right before I put this up. So I'm going to pop back and see if I can't star that. There we go.
Haven't even
Thunder.
said what you're giving away for all
Yeah,
these
I
people
know.
know.
What are we giving
For all
away?
these
I
people
know.
know
I was
you're
gonna
shipping.
say it, but like everybody just started like fumbling.
Yeah,
in,
I
and
mean,
like,
for all they know, you're shipping empty M&M packages.
right?
We're
Hey, one
shipping
of these
all the-
days.
All the
We have a
packages
lot of
with
rejects.
one M&M.
There
Yeah.
you go.
We have a lot of rejects, and we keep them.
I caught Rich Bratcher's comment. He pulled Garth Brooks instead of AC/DC.
Yep.
So what are we giving away?
Oh, I guess I'll tell you.
Oh, you're still holding out. Okay, let's just whatever. Sorry,
I guess
I want to make sure I didn't miss this.
Should we tell him or should we just like keep it until it?
I like Ellen's.
Oh, I do too.
Oh,
I don't know. We still got quite a few people throwing the.
so this is a mystery giveaway then.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently so.
So far, I'm gonna go with it.
We got a lot of risk takers out there.
Yeah.
You might be winning. You might be winning the chance to shovel their driveways.
Boom. You know, I got some pavers that need laid.
Anybody want to till up a garden area for me?
Smells
How
like
many you
work.
got now? I can't read it.
Hold on, and I will make it bigger.
It's giveaway time.
So
far,
signed a
150.
squeal board from Liberty.
150.
Be careful what you wish for, Timothy. Jared says hashtag take it back.
Yeah.
You get Liberty's choice of Bondo.
So in the meantime, what's going on with the weather here?
Supposedly something nasty's coming in, but I haven't looked at the radar. People keep asking me, and I'm not going to. So I just find out my information from other people.
It's
could open up
getting
the front
yeah, no, I do too. It's getting close. We're starting to see some pretty ugly things on the radar map there. Looks like maybe another hour, and we got a tornado zone coming right at us.
Yep, Indy's in tornado warning right now.
Thank you.
My mother already forbid me from going outside to take video
Eh,
because that's generally what I do in
Well, it's
inclement weather.
kind of dark, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little.
Oh boy. All right, just got a delivery.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Well, there went the neighborhood.
Nice.
All right, you guys. I think we'll run it for another minute. Get those last thunder pound hashtag whatever you call it in.
Which band is it that does that one?
Which one?
AC/DC.
Dun 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 dun. Dun.
Darren says it's beautiful.
I know, I know the AC/DC
Imagine
one
Dragons?
that popped into my. Yes,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of more. I know there's more since they brought up Garth.
I was gonna say I was thinking of Thunder Rolls cover
Yep,
by
there we go.
I can't remember which band.
I don't always listen to AC/DC, but when I do, so do my neighbors.
Yep.
Yes, agreed. All righty. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to the right place. I have 50,000 tabs up of everything I need to order for us.
Welcome to my world.
All right. So are you going to spin the wheel before you tell what the giveaway is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cool. This is a total mystery.
All right, y'all. We got 163 people. If you haven't hashtag thundered yet, then you will not hashtag thunder tonight. Here we go.
All right. Dun, 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 dun,
No
dun,
one
dun.
more got in at the last.
A couple of them did.
Hell yeah.
Karen Malari.
Karen Malari. Woo, Karen. Oh, what'd she get? Look at that.
Julianne, would you like to tell her what she's won?
Well, it would be a wonderful IDC Woodcraft gift card to purchase anything on our website that you do so please for the amount of $30.
Sweet.
Yep.
Wow.
Sweet.
Imaginary gift card.
Whoop, whoop. All right.
All right.
Oh, and how you can get this gift card.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. That's important.
Good. Congratulations, Karen.
Yep. Go
Cool.
to idcwoodcraft.com and head over to our contact us area. And then your subject is going to be Wednesday winner. And then you'll just put your name, your email information in there, and that shoots to us, and we'll get you taken care of.
Sweet.
So,
All right, there you go. That's how you claim it, and be the smart one. Send the email right now. Julie,
oh yeah,
yeah, just take
Yeah.
care of it.
I keep my eyes out for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Karen and any other lady creators, Liberty, tell them where they should go. Women Who
So
CNC.
on Facebook, there's the Women Who CNC group, and all women are welcome to join. Women makers, women CNC creators. We have a community there, judgment-free questions, posts, inviting conversations, as well as the website with lots of resources and a map as well.
There you go.
No boys allowed, right?
No boys
No
allowed.
in
on
the Facebook group. No.
No boys allowed.
Fine. Just,
Yeah.
okay,
We
fine.
do secret women CNC
Just-
things.
yeah, I
behind
know
closed
that.
doors.
I'm 64 years old. I've been married twice. I got 3 daughters. I know what y'all do.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the questions. Karen, congratulations. Make sure you
You got
send
the
that
stage,
email.
boys.
Put the ladies in the background, and oops, you guys can send yourself back. Then I'll send you back. She got it. Okay. All right, let's hammer on these, Mark. I got 22 in the queue. No more questions, guys. We're probably not gonna be able to make it through these. So here we go. Does the VCarve Pro ever go on sale? $1,000 here in Canada.
The short answer is no. The long answer is no. They do not do promotions. They do not do sales. But I know it's a lot of money. But you get used to using it, you'll wonder how it ever happened so cheap, how they ever sold it so cheap. Because I'll be honest with you, I just been using VCarve Pro since version 7.5. I just don't have the problems I see other people having with other software. I just don't have that problem or those problems. So, and I know it's a lot of money, but for instance, if you want to use VCarve Desktop first to learn it, and that's relatively inexpensive, then you move up to VCarve Pro, you get credit for what you've already spent. You don't pay full retail for VCarve Pro. You pay the difference in price. Then if later on you want to upgrade to Aspire, you don't pay full retail. You pay the difference in price for what you've already spent.
Yep.
So, it is a lot of money. As an Aspire user, I'm here to tell you it's a lot of money. Tax refund. I used my tax refund to buy it, and I've never looked back. I'm glad I did it.
Yep. All right. John is saying he's trying to cut out a dog bone test file using single flute conventional setting, and the top of the material is not as wide as the base. Any tips for straight edges cutting out? First of all, double check your tram on the machine. The tram is the angle of the spindle relative to the surface, your work surface. So it needs to be perpendicular. So there's tram, which is the side to side, that's the yaw, and then the back and forth, they call it the nod. All right, so you need to check both.
Yeah, nod and tilt both. I have a couple of videos on my channel that'll walk you through them. I believe you've got one also, Garrett.
Yeah.
Or at least one. The other thing is to make sure that your work surface is flat and your material is flat.
Yeah.
For instance, I got 3 pieces of sapele back here on my spoil board. The reason they're on my spoil board and not being glued up right now is because they are twisted. So I have to flatten them. And that's my next project.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely tram that machine, and you should not have that. If you still have it, then the whole spindle is pushing like that as it's making this cut, and you may have to slow down your cut. Howard is saying, what's the best, largest collet and collet nut you can use on the alt mill 1.5 spindle? The spindle that comes with it is a ER16, and the largest collet 1/2 inch. Yeah, you can go at 1/2 inch.
I don't know. I have an ER20, and the biggest I can go is a 1/2 inch.
Yeah, it should.
ER16 may go up to 3/8. I'm not sure if an ER16 will go up to 1/2 inch. I really don't know.
I'm taking a look real quick. We got them on the website, but I'm drawing a blank on that one. ER-16. So we carry ER collets and 1/4 inch shank, 3/8 shank, and 1/8 shank. So you don't go up to 1/2 inch. You only go up to 3/8.
Okay. Even though 3/8 is pretty beefy.
It is pretty beefy. Kimberly is do cribbage pegs come in different diameter sizes or to makers turn their own? You can buy them. You can buy them on Amazon.
Most cribbage pegs are tapered because that way you could use, say, for instance, a 3mm bit, or you could use an 1/8 inch bit. And it's going to fit, that taper is going to fit down to, it'll stop where it wants to stop. So most of those pegs are tapered. It's a slight taper, but it's there.
John, again, is saying he's trying to cut out. Oh, that's the same one. Duplicated that question. Well, it's the best resource to learn G-code. I guess I want to shoot a video on G-code. Let me write that down. It's interesting because most of the time as hobbyists, you don't really need to know G-code, or even professional level, they don't need to know a whole lot. But people enjoy learning about G-code and what makes their machine run. Because every time I do a video, talk about G-code, they're always saying something about it. Best resource to learn G-code.
Are we even going to talk about the CNC cookbook, or should we go there?
Yeah.
For learning G-code. I mean, I'm not an expert in G-code. I know just enough to make myself dangerous. You know what I mean? But there is a gentleman on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you're a member of Facebook, do yourself a favor and look up Milo Scott Studio. Milo is a wizard. The man is a genius. And creating post processors, he's been doing this since, there have been CNC machines. He has a Facebook group called Milo Scott Studio. Get over there and join it. It's a public group. Just go for it. He is a genius, and he will teach you more about G-code than you ever wanted to learn.
Right.
What the G commands mean, what the M command mean. And we're talking about, these people go back to before there was this kind of CAD CAM software that would do all the figuring for you. They would write their own G code.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah. And so, Milo is he's a genius. I mean, this guy can make, on his rotary axis, he will cut you a turned leg in about 90 seconds.
Huh.
That would, if you tried to do it in 3D, it would take you 4 hours. He's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Try that. Excuse me, I'm not really sure where else to go. I just tap on my knowledge. We used to write CAN cycles, subroutines, all kinds of stuff. Okay. Meyerson, so if you're not able to enter G codes, how do you set up offsets in VECTRIC? Okay, well, that's post-processor modification.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to automatically punch that G55 into that thing, then you need to go in.
Okay.
And I have a video that explains how to modify a post-processor.
Let me find a piece of G code. Okay, boom. And
so
you mind if I share screens, Garrett?
Yeah, I don't mind. You don't set offsets in VECTRIC.
You can, but not Not really. This is G code. You may go your entire life without ever seeing a piece of G code. This up here, this is for Mach 4. Everything that's within parentheses is a comment. The machine doesn't read this at all. It will read certain things. For instance, if I plug this into Mach 4 right now, it will tell me the tool paths, the tools, and which tool that I'm using right now. Then you have all of these G commands right here that tell it various things. G20, for instance, is inches. G0 is a rapid move. Various things like that. When you come down here, it's somewhere in here. Isn't that where you would put in your G55, for instance?
Yeah, I would put the G55 near the very top of the program.
Okay,
I would put it below all the text stuff that's behind.
Because all of this, these are all comments in the header.
Yeah, you can't be inside the parentheses.
Right. So I would, so about right there, right?
Yeah.
Then I would type G55 space. Then save. And that's it.
Yeah.
And this is Notepad. Comes with every copy of Windows since Windows 95, I believe. Now, there is another program called Notepad++ that will let you do a lot more than Notepad will. But right now, I've just added that G55 to the G code, and it will automatically switch over to that work offset and go. So, and those are simple commands.
Yep. Yeah, so G code is set in the post processor.
Right.
VECTRIC sends the motion information. The post processor punches in all the other information. All right. Let's see. How do you set a macro in GSender, like a home macro? I haven't done a macro in a while in GSender. I'll have to take a look. I'll share screen. Let's go there. I'll bring up GSender. So macro is down in this console down here in the lower left corner. You have various, you have the probe, you have the macro, the console, coolant, and this one's got rotary. I need to turn my spindle one on. So macros, there's this plus symbol. I'm going to do this on the fly. So there's a little plus symbol. And I make my macro name. So I'm going to go to, let's see, machine home. So go to machine home. And then I have to create the commands, right? So we're going to do G28Z0. That might not be it. Not sure I want to do that. But we'll say G28X0Y0. And that's telling it to go to the machine home. And I'll add the macro, add a new macro. And there it is. Go to machine home. The machine is not at home at the moment. So I'm going to pull it out of home. And I'm going to turn on my other camera and see if this works. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay. And I got to stop sharing this screen. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back to GSender and click on that Go to Machine Home. I went to a different spot. I went to, yeah, I'll have to figure out what's going on. I haven't done this in a long time.
Did it go to G55?
I think I went to G54.
Oh,
so
okay.
G28, I should take it to, yeah, it's going to wrap it to its set home position. It's set zero position. So I had to emergency stop that one because I wasn't sure what it was doing. It was going somewhere. But anyway, that's how I created it. You just got to know what the commands are doing.
Yep.
All right, did that one on the fly. That was pretty good. Vortex is saying how working on jig for drink coasters, need to cut a straight line at joint of jigs. I use small box and end of line and a little bigger than the bit. Is this correct?
Yes, David, it is. Short answer. Sorry. I know what David's been working on. So, yes, that is correct. David's another one of my channel members. I tell you, we got a great group of people.
Yeah, that folks, make sure you subscribe to Mark's channel. His channel, if you're not subscribed to it, and yeah, he's always got something going on. Ellen is saying I'm looking for a sanding pad bit and to stand like surfacing. I saw it somewhere on the internet. I'm not sure if you're talking about.
I've seen that. Those are basically homebrew solutions, like a flat sanding pad that you would chuck in a drill.
Oh, okay.
And put that in a 1/4 inch collet. The problem with it, Ellen, is that you really have to slow your spindle down way, way, way down. And even then, it can still throw that paper off. Those are mainly homebrew solutions.
Yeah. The other thing is balance.
Yes, because I mean, think about it. If you get that sandpaper, even if the sanding pad itself is balanced, if you get that sandpaper off just a little bit, off center just a little bit, you've now introduced a wobble. So, you know, what I want to do, Ellen, is I want to make a little attachment to the CNC that I can just slip my random orbit sander in there and let it drive my random orbit sander around.
That would be nice. That becomes worth it if you're doing a lot of stuff. Now, I know Ellen does a lot of interesting stuff. So
save up for a drum sander, Ellen.
There you go. Or buy a palm sander. Two Towers Art. Liberty uses skates in a warehouse? Really? Yes, she does. She is constantly zipping back and forth between her 20-foot by 20-foot space. So
heck yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. Liberty, do you need skates? I'm gonna bring you on. Do you need skates?
We were joking about it a show or two ago about doing donations for skates so Liberty can do the shipping faster.
Oh, okay. Hold out for a scooter. Hold out for a scooter.
That's funny. I miss half the jokes because I sit there and stay in the comments or the starred comments area. All right, cool. Let's go to, is it possible to mill the bits that have a consistent shank but taper to an 1/8 inch tool size? Would be nice to not be swapping collets. Yeah, we got them. Got them at IDC Woodcraft. Let me, Julianne, get the link up for that, please, or Liberty. I'm sure they're already doing it. Let's see. I forget our SKU numbers on that to find them. They're in mills. And yeah, so the link, she'll put the link up. We have a 1/8 inch shank, and 1/8 inch cutter and a 1/16 inch cutter with a 1/4 inch shank.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, those are available. Brooks.
I'm sure Julianne's getting the link, but the SKU for those is quarter down QD dash.
QD. Okay. QD dash. There we go. See, that's there we go. Look at that. All right. I'll share screen real quick. Thank you, Liberty. Share screen just so y'all can see it. Should be it right there. There they are. So the 16th has a 1/4 inch flute length, and the 1/8 inch has a 5/8 flute length. I don't like putting 1 inch flute lengths on the 1/8" shank bits because it's you start to get too long and they break too easy.
Snap. Yep, they break real easy.
Yeah. Friend Wandering Star, Garrett, would someone like Gators Manufacturing make those one-off bits that people ask you about? I talked to him about it, but you got to remember, it's a specialty. When we do this, where there's time between us to deal with specifications, he's got to sit at the computer, design it up. Then he's got to run up the code to make his machine cut it. Then he's got to order the blank for it. And then if he has the proper grinding wheel. So it is a big deal. That's why when you're wanting custom stuff, we have to really weigh this out. Because it does get costly.
That's something from my education. I really honestly don't know. What would you estimate from the time you come up with the idea in your brain until the time you have the first prototype bit in your hand? What would you estimate the time and the money?
We can talk about it right now because we were working on one. So ladies, I'll bring you back on board because we're working on this one bit and everybody's involved in it. This is a new bit. So answer Mark's question, Liberty or Julianne.
When did he bring the idea to us?
It's when me, you, and Adam left that one show. 8 months ago? 6, 7 months ago?
Yeah, that was in July.
So that's when I first started thinking about it.
Okay.
Then maybe 2 to 3 months later.
We had something in our hands in what, December?
Yeah.
I want to say we had the first sample in our hands in December.
I want to say we started formally talking about it in September.
Yeah.
So 4 months to get prototype design right.
Okay.
Get the first prototype after we discussed designs.
Yeah.
And rough guesstimate on how much that one prototype bit in your hand cost. Just ballpark. Doesn't have to be accurate.
If I was to put everybody's time into it that was involved in this, I would probably say about $4,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you can't get custom bits right there.
Yeah.
Imagine having to pay Garrett $4,000 for that bit that you need for that special project.
It's not like I don't want to make it happen. It's a matter of prudence with business.
Yeah.
And capability.
It's not being a killjoy. It's plain and simply the fact that I love Garrett to death, but I'm not giving him $4,000 for a bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, you take my first 10 cars, they didn't equal up to $4,000. All right.
Right. And as much as we love our customers, just one bit for one request, we're going to have to charge that $4,000 to bring that to fruition. If it wasn't something that, you know, it could be continued out through more people and more projects.
Yeah. It's, if I see these really weird one-off bit concepts, I won't even touch it because it's just not worth it. It's not worth the time.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
I just kind of wanted to give people an example of why that isn't as easy as it may sound.
Yeah, there's a lot involved in it. Remember, we're from a business perspective, all right, I've got to first come up with the concept. I have to communicate with my tooling company where they have to decide whether they can do it. They got to see if they even have the grinding wheels that will conform to it. And then they have to write up the design program. We have to go look at the designs, modify the design. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Very expensive proposition.
Yeah.
All right. So Jared is saying 2-part for Mark. It's Mach 3. Is there a easy way to slow down the go-to zero speeds? Puts them into a panic every time. And secondly, how does the fixture save
work when opening and closing? Okay. Yeah. Basically, let me get let me ask the second half first. Fixture save. Mach 3 is different from Mach 4. I don't know if I have Mach 3 on this computer or not. It's been a while since I set up anything in Mach 3. No, I don't have it on this computer. When you exit Mach 3, a splash screen will come up asking you, do you want to save this fixture? I always said no. Always said no. This all goes back to that G54, 55, 56, 57 thing. You can put Mach 3 into, say, G55. Set your 0 for G55, your X and Y 0 for G55. Then save it. And that's what that splash screen is asking. Do you want to save that fixture? There's another way to save it too, but that's, this could go into every other, this could get off into other tangents. Is there a easy way to slow down the go to 0 speeds? There is, but I'd have to go get on the other computer in the house, find that screen, and then come back and tell you. And yeah, there is a way. Get into your configuration. Oh my gosh, I wish I had Mach 3 on this computer. Go to mocksupport.com. Mock support. That's that is Mach 3's and Mach 4's support forum. And there are people that have been involved in Mach 3 and Mach 4 since the beginning. And believe me, they know more than I do about 99.9% of this stuff. Believe me. But I haven't used Mach 3 in 4 years.
Okay. What about the slow down go to speed?
That's what I mean. There is a way you can get in and set that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember which screen it's in.
That's
but there is a way to do it.
Okay. All right. Billy said, what kind of grill do you have, Mark? Do you have a smoker? He said, you said to ask Mark something when I said that a while ago because all the questions were coming to me.
I have 2 Weber kettles, and I have a homemade UDS, ugly drum smoker. I made a smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. The lid off of one of my Webers fits right on the top of it, and I've got 2 levels for smoking. It's all charcoal. Best $80 I ever spent was building that because I didn't want to pay $400 for a Weber Smoky Mountain smoker.
All right. I hope it wasn't full of chemical first, and you didn't wash it. You washed it out.
Actually, it was light machine oil.
Okay.
And I burned it out, then sandblasted it, and then gave it a coating of PAM, and I've been using it 10 years. Best $80 I ever spent.
All right. If you were using a round over bit, would you cut that profile prior to the final cutout profile?
Yeah, I do.
I do. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Charles, if you were using a round over,
That's the
same one. Right.
Yep.
All right. I didn't close it. Can you use from Funways, can you use the Beast and Hog bits for a finish pass? You can do it for the surface finish. It'll give you a super clean surface finish. But for the sidewalls, it won't have a clean finish pass.
Yeah, if you're going for a rustic look, that might work for you, but you are not going to get a smooth finish out of that bit. I'm here to tell you. Try it once. Just try it once, and you'll see exactly what I mean, because there is no such thing as finesse with either of those bits.
Yeah. The Beast is not too bad for a finish, but you're not going to get a nice smooth finish. Again, those are meant to remove a ton of material really fast, but they're also meant to take the wear and tear off your standard end mills, right? To let them do the finish cleanup cut because they got the nice clean cuts on them, nice clean blades on them. Brooks is saying, so Mark, how's the controller upgrade going?
Slow. I'm old. It's going slow. I have changed over from Mach 4 to Centroid Acorn, and it's a whole new critter. and I'm learning it. I'm just not there yet. That's why you don't see a lot of projects getting finished. But
Gotcha.
I'm learning.
Yep. Kimberly donated another $10 to us. All right, Kimberly, this is for Liberty's rollerblades.
That's what I was laughing about, Liberty. Not at you. I was laughing when I saw Kimberly's $10 for rollerblades come in.
That's funny. Thanks, Kim. Once again, Kimberly is a regular contributor. The way she donated for us taking time out is just down below the IDC channel is like a little dollar sign. Click that, and you can throw a little cash at us for 4 people sitting here taking hour and a half or more out of their day to be with you. Actually, more because we all have to prepare to be here. Then we hang out a little bit afterwards too.
It's a lot of
All
fun.
right. Jared Mark says he was watching your intro to 3D carving, part 18 this weekend on your channel, was unable to locate first 8 parts. Do you have a playlist for this? This is another reason why you don't want to split up videos.
Right. Yeah, but I think there's 20 videos in that playlist. Do you make one video that long? My longest video was 1 hour, almost exactly. And that was making a pattern and then scanning that pattern into the computer and then drawing a 2D vector from that pattern that I created and then cutting out the project. So I covered a lot of ground in that video and people don't really like it. The short answer, Jared, is yes. If you go to my YouTube channel, right below the banner, one of your links there is playlists. Then look down in there and you will find Intro to 3D Carving. And it's there. I can't post a link or I would.
Okay. Brooks saying, Brian is saying, I already answered this question in background, but it's a good question that needs to be repeated. If you have the IDC Woodcraft database, or you don't even have it, and you install the IDC Woodcraft database, will it mess up the current settings and bits that you have in there? If you follow the instructions that I provide, it will not. It will not. It'll just update stuff that's not there already. So you'll be okay. Just follow the instructions. Wayne, last question. Wayne is saying, if I start with a 30 by 40 work piece for 40 coasters, can I change the file to cut smaller groups at a time?
You mean using a smaller piece of material than the 30 by 40? Or set it up to where you're, say, cutting four sets of 10 or 10 sets of 4. You can do either or. You can do all of the above. Wow, you could create sheets. You could create separate tool paths and then decide when you want to run those tool paths. There are a number of ways to take care of that. The short answer is yes. The long answer is, how do you want to do it? Because there are many, many ways to skin that proverbial cat. So, but yeah, you can run 1 batch of 40. You can run 4 batches of 10 or 10 batches of 4 or 2 batches of 20. It's 100% up to you. I see Wayne is asking, maybe save it as a template. Sure. Save it as a template and try it.
All right. Billy said, 24 Mark to get a real smoker.
I got a real smoker, homeboy.
Well, it looks like we got to send you $20 anyway there, Mark.
No. Take Liberty and Julianne and Adam to dinner.
Yeah, it's time to take them back to the steakhouse. Here's a good one. How do you prevent the lines on the finish cut? I've reduced the step over to 13% and it still shows up with the bull bit.
You're on the right track. Keep going.
Yeah.
If I'm using something like that, My minimum is 10%. I have been known to go down to 6%, depending upon the project. But for something like a bowl and tray bit, but you want to go below 10%.
Yep. That's exactly it. You can, that's what, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank now. The bowl bits with the flat bottoms on them.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab one here.
Yeah, bowl bit. Okay.
Mhm.
So it looks like you're using, yeah, it's with the bowl bit, 13%. So with our bowl bit, the IDC Woodcraft one, 20% should get you a good flat surface. So I'm not sure which one you're using.
You got to remember that on a bowl bit like this, and I got to use my pointer here. It's measuring your step over is the percentage of the bit's diameter. The bit's diameter is from this edge to this edge, but the only thing that's cutting is this surface right down here. So if you are going with too wide of a step over, you're leaving material right here on these corners. And this is really rotten to try to show you guys. So tighten up the step over and it'll smooth out.
Yep, for sure. Tighten it up some more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the right track. Just keep going.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to bring the ladies back on board because we are going to knock off for the evening. First of all, Mark, thank you for showing up again. Next week,
very much
guys,
for having me.
Yep. Next week, we've got Kevin from Shipoko. So if you want to just see what another machine maker has to say, or if you have a Shipoko or thinking of getting a CNC router, you can ask some questions about the Shipokos and the Carbide 3D design software and Carbide Motion software. So, because those that make the Shipoko also make design software and the control software. And
speaking of Carbide Motion, David Vortex 8. What he's doing is he's building himself a fixture to be able to use his G55, G56 work offsets in Carbide Motion. So, David, yes, have your question ready.
For sure, for sure. Ladies, thank you for hanging out in the background again. When are you guys going to do next ladies' night?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. It'll be on the calendar.
Yeah, I think you need to get Winnie and the other girl we met down at Workbench Con. So yeah. Okay. Well, what's on the IDC Woodcraft agenda for the next couple of days? Anything out of the ordinary?
No,
I think
just
so.
discussing future sales.
And future releases.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Roller
Not,
skates.
nothing crazy.
There's always stuff going on in the background.
We may make smoothies.
I'm filming.
Yeah. When I release a design file, what's involved? Like the marble maze or the card holder? What do we go through just to put a file to give away to people?
Lord.
Well, it starts with your idea of, I want to give this file away. Making the project a couple times and then writing out a short description, taking a bunch of pictures of the project and every single screenshot of how to configure it in the software. Then it goes to proofreading, me. And then we send it off to the designer to make it all pretty and formatted for you lovely peoples at home. So that takes
Yeah, this is all done by a designer, and it does all kinds of stuff to it.
No, I actually did that one.
Oh, you did these.
That
You
one was
did these.
me.
Yeah, this is Julianne did that one. She's done a number of those. And then we got to get the code, the G code together, because I give the G code, right? But I tell you, we're giving this to you, so you got to test run it first before you put a bit in there. And then, yeah, step-by-step instructions, getting the files together, giving them to Richard, our tech guy, making sure they're set up in click funnels. Oh boy, it's
Setting up the
everything we
page. all sorts
do
of
is to do. Everything we do. There's always something. We never realize how much goes on behind the scenes for companies. All right. Well, with that, folks, we are going to check out next week. Shapoko is going to be on board, and that'll be a lot of fun. Mark, thank you again for stopping by and giving us some company, answering questions with your knowledge. And yeah, it's a great hangout.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing this.
All right, folks, we are going to check out. We will see you next Wednesday, 8 o'clock sharp Eastern Standard Time. The three of us and Kevin from Shapoko will be here next week. We're working to get Carveco on board. And who else? Who else am I working to get on board again?
A lot of people.
The list
I
is
got a
at
whole
the
list.
office.
Yeah, it's all on a board because I can't keep it in my head.
Mhm. And on the calendar when we get them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. We will see you next week.